All right, so I'm here with Dr. Debbie Cruz. She's the founder at Opti International. She's also one of the most interesting people to talk about brain research and golf with, the yips, what kind of state we're trying to get in, all that good stuff. We're going to try out the Opti, the band, and go through the brain and the train and see what it's all about. So I'm looking forward to it. Where do we start with this? We have the Muse Headband, which has the 4 sensors.
Correct.
Yep. Okay.
Yep, 2 in the front and 2 behind the ears. So they're good indicators of what's going on in your brain, Cordy. We got our phone, so we've got our apps on our phone, and that's all you really need. What I'd like to do first is just get a resting measure of your brain and kind of figure out where you tend to be more in life. And that's kind of helpful information. The first thing the app's going to do is look for the headset. It's going to look to make sure that we're connected right, and it's good. And that's just the last 2 behind your ears. Relax your jaw, you're ready to go. And I'll stop talking for this one. So we just took a 10-second baseline. You might have seen those little bars blinking on and off. Those are your eye blinks. And the signals might go in and out a little bit, but that's okay because all of that will be removed before they're mapped. So I'm going to label this one.
So we just took a 10-second baseline. It was just chilling out here. And so we're going to get a brain map of that to see kind of the resting state of my brain without golf, without a club, without doing anything.
Okay, so we just pull up the center icon. Your file is right there, and there's your brain maps. So what they're showing us is let's see, theta's pretty active in this one. Theta's a good state, pleasure, displeasure, it's a meditative state, etc. I like to look at the values in terms of the left and the right side. You tend to be, usually I think, a little more right-sided.
So what do we take away from this? Well, it's on the screen here. When people look at this is just a resting, like, do we learn anything from this?
We do. We kind of look for the pattern to see if one side's a little more active than the other, to see what the color pattern is. If all 4 of the maps that you see here tend to have the same pattern across them, that's pretty indicative of your own particular pattern. But the real value is to compare it with other things down the road. So the next one we want to compare with is while you putt. Okay. Lots of times people are a certain way in life, and as soon as you put a club in their hands, they tend to be in a little different place. Often a very good state for performance. Okay, so I'm going to go out of here, and this time we are going to put a club in your hands, if you don't mind. Okay, so I'll move this aside, and
now we have a challenge.
Now we have a challenge. So that looks like a good hole over there to go into, Cordy. I'll give you a ball to start with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you just do what you normally do, go through your routine. I'm going to press start, and what I'm going to do is press stop the collection as soon as you take the putter back. And we're just going to go back and look at the 1 second right before you took that putter back. That's the one that's predictive performance.
Got it.
Okay, so in terms of looking at these, I'm looking at the patterns. You seem actually quieter on the one that was really good, which to me is kind of telling me that you got done with all your processing. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then if we look at the balance, you're very right-sided there on the good one, but you're left on the not-so-good one. Over here, you're right on this one. You're right on... Oh, this one's exactly even. It's very synergistic. It's excellent. Okay, left on that side again, which is not so good. A little more left on that last one, but so overall, we're seeing something that's a little bit quieter and probably a little more right-sided when you perform your better putt.
Yes. So people can see this. The numbers are closer, which means the synergy, that it's more aligned, the left and the right side. We see blue and green as well. Are we taking anything away from that, or?
The green is higher activity, and you'll notice in your good putts, it's a little more blue. You see more blue than you do green.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that just means that it's there's less thinking? Like, what do we mean?
I like to think, because we're looking at the last second, that you got done. There's another interesting one that I see. If you look just at alpha activity in those 2 frontal areas, you're in the good putt, you tend to be, the left side's higher there, and that's an indication of an approach mindset rather than an avoid. It's the opposite in the one that you didn't.
Okay.
You were in more of an avoid mindset.
Okay, so we just did the Opti brain portion where we were measuring the different maps of a good and bad putt. Very apparent the difference is there. So now we're going to look at training. So we have a measurement. How do we get better at it, right?
You bet. The whole goal is to train people to be better than their best. That's
Better
right.
than their best,
Yeah. Okay, so because we're outside, I'm going to use the music so that it can be as simple actually as just pushing start, and you're going to listen to the music, and the music's going to be changing, going up and down maybe every second because it updates that often. You only have one goal, and that's to get the music low before you take the putter back.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to start you on beginner level. Remember, we have 5.
Okay.
And we'll just go from there.
So the music needs to be quiet because
Yes.
that means our brain is in a synchronous state. So it's looking at the four sensors, and we want them to be aligned or similar.
Yeah, they'll be synchronized.
Okay.
So they don't have to be the exact same values. They're probably not going to be, but the pattern will be synchronized.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
And you'll
Got it,
have
got
your
it.
own unique pattern, which is just fine for you.
Okay.
We allow for that.
Okay. When is it? Let me ask you this: when is it important? Does it only matter right here, like about to putt, or is it even start back here when I'm thinking about it?
Right there.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the research has suggested this is the most important point.
Okay.
Because people get ready all different, and that's fine. But what's neat is as you train, you're going to find the music will fall into your own pattern as well, and it's consistent as can be when people perform well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we already have you connected in, so we're ready to go. I'm going to push start.
Okay. Yeah, I can turn that up. Perfect.
Loud, soft.
Yeah.
Okay, and again.
So it was loud. It's loud right there. So it's loud when I'm here thinking about the target even sometimes?
You can be, you're planning, you're processing when it's loud, and that's okay. It's not that it's incorrect. The only thing, you do your thing to get ready, but we want it soft right before you start the motion.
Okay, so hey, I'm thinking about it. There we go.
Very good. That's
Okay.
right. It's
So
okay.
what does that mean? I mean,
means
so I
that-
was about to hit it, and it
you
came
went
on
back
really
to-
loud.
Yeah, you went back to processing. So you can either wait through that until it goes back down, because it's a pattern I see really often. People might look at the hole and it goes up, and then it comes down, and then it might go up one more time right before they start going, but they gotta wait for it to get back down, and they'll usually putt better.
So should I just stand there and wait until I get it low?
Yeah, figure out how to get it low. Look at the hole again if you want, but you'll figure it out.
Just curious, when you're talking and listening, does this mean something? Like, sometimes when I talk, it comes on. Sometimes, like now, it's not on. What is?
Right.
Does that? Have you learned? Is there anything about that?
Well, I don't know about you, but I've had people who, if they would just talk all the time, they'd be in a better place to perform.
Okay.
So this is just measuring the amount of activity in their brain. And so it might be changing sometimes, like you're listening to me now and you're taking in information, which is receiving, which is a good place to be.
Okay.
But you're also processing, as we go through this information as well. But it's just going to change accordingly. There's no good and bad to it.
Okay. So let's try again. Let's see. If
Yeah.
we can.
So that one was better.
Yeah.
So you went up again, which I see that pattern all the time, and I'm not sure what it's saying. Maybe it's just that we're ready to go, and when it comes back down, it's good.
So talk to us about this. So should we be backing off of the ball more often, would you say, or do we stand here? Let's say in a performance environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're performing or trying to hit the best shot. Should we back off? Do we just stand here like this until we feel like we're in the quieter place?
When you're training, stay here, and you'll figure it out. Your brain will figure it out.
Okay.
So it's just fine. If you're on the course, though, you don't have this with you.
Yeah.
It says, but something comes in there, a question mark. You can't hit a ball with a question mark in your head. Anything. Oh, am I aimed right? It doesn't matter anymore if you are or not. You need to start over because there's a question in your head. So if this has a question, it's not giving clear directions to this, which is your subconscious performing the motion.
That's good. Okay. Let's see if we can do that again. All right. It's easy.
It's easy.
It's simple.
Well, what's fun to me is I get to listen to what's going on in your brain. Usually I have no clue what's going on in somebody's brain, but at least I have some idea now.
What is that? Because every time before I hit a ball, it goes up as loud as it can. What does that
Very
mean?
common pattern. I don't know. I just think must be a piece of readiness. So, the idea that we always have to be quiet or relaxed or in this one place, to me, I've not heard that.
Okay.
I hear people's pattern change, and we can, start back there and it might be in a certain pattern. And sometimes as soon as people set their club behind the ball, it gets low and stays. Sometimes you get it low before the putt and it'll go back up again as soon as you start to putt. That's okay. I often find if they train for a little bit, it starts to stay low longer. They find that place to go to and they get really good at getting there.
That's amazing. I can feel the difference. Like I can almost feel when it's loud, and then when it goes quiet right before you hit it, you kind of feel something kind of shift, right?
That's exactly right.
That's crazy.
That's synchrony, it's synergy. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's so cool. Well, I'm never gonna hit a putt anymore without this on. I think is my new thing because you make them all. So
well, we can turn it off. And do you want to putt some now, and I'll collect an Opti brain?
Okay, so
lots of times we'll train, and then if you want to see, we turn it off. In fact, sometimes we get the best results after we get away from it and come back.
So I've hit a handful of putts here, using the train and figuring out what state. So now no music. We're just going to collect the data, and we're going to see if it's better or see what's improved since the last map that we did.
Correct.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
Okay, rating on that?
5.
Can we hit another one?
Yeah, I felt.
You were lost without your music.
I knew it was gonna miss. Let's just say that.
I've seen what that looks like in the brain, but we're gonna save it. Okay, let's go and hit one more. Well, that one was good.
That's good.
Number?
This is a 9. Yeah.
9. All right. Do you do 10?
I don't know. I guess I don't do 10.
We got to get you to 10 because we're going better than your best.
Okay,
so
better than your best. Yeah. Got to get to 10.
Okay, so let's compare that one.
So this is really interesting. Dr. Debbie is going through some of the brain maps here, and in my resting state, I'm pretty right-sided.
Yes.
So it's pulling me, so there's more left side of the brain, which gets me in synchrony, which is really interesting.
What I did is I compared your good putt from before training to your good putt after training. So you rated them 9 both times, and they both went in the hole. Okay, so what I'm kind of seeing in the maps is you tend to be a little more right-sided, and the activity appears to have gone up a little, which to me represents a little more focus. So perhaps there was a little more focus after the training. Okay, and so the theta was stronger right before, and it came over a little left. It got balanced out a little bit. Alpha was a little bit higher right and stayed right. Beta was a little higher, actually it was even on both sides before training, and it just came over a little more left. And so did beta 2. That's an indication to me that's saying a little more focus might be better for you and a little more balance might be better for you.
I mean, that's the whole point. So you say better than your best is kind of the tagline, because we all have different things, right? Like for me, it's more right-sided, and I need to get a little more focus and bring it back in the middle with a little bit more of the left side. So that's for me, but for everyone else, it's completely different, which is crazy.
Correct. It's going to be whatever their brain needs in order to get this to work. And the thing is, the program was built from performance backwards. So we just looked at what put putts in the hole over and over and over again. And from that, we determined the brain states, and it showed us that pattern of synergy or synchrony all the time. So that's what we created in terms of the algorithm.
No, it's awesome. I can feel it absolutely went over the ball, the difference, like 100%. And now that I actually feel it and have this awareness, like even if I don't train anymore, I'm going to have something that I know that I'm looking for, right? Or that state that I know that I'm going for. So eye-opening. This has been amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the entire series at golfsciencelab.com/Opti and get our complete guide to using the Muse Headbands and the Opti apps to improve your performance and your mental game on the golf course.